Hello friends, I'm Lena Delphier, and today we're wrapping up all the movies that I watched in the month of February. It was a little bit of a slower month for me regarding movies, but that's probably because I started watching a lot more shows, including Severance on Apple TV, which is excellent as everyone's saying it is. And I did make it to the movies 4 times, which is excellent for me. Some of these were assignments for zombies in my blog, so I will post the links below. I go more in depth about my review, so check those out down in the comments. So without further ado, let's talk about what I watched in February 2025. First up is Companion, starring Sophie Thatcher and Jack Quaid. If you did not watch the trailers for this, count yourself among the lucky few because the trailer just gave away too much. However, that doesn't mean there weren't plenty of surprises along the way. I thoroughly enjoyed this film, and I did blog about it for Zombies, so check out my column below. It's definitely a must-see for fans of horror and thrillers. Next up is Dark Match, a Shudder original that I think I rated higher than most people did. I was raised on pro wrestling and dabble in AEW and GCW here from time to time, so this truly spoke to my soul. I will say I was initially drawn to this movie because of one of its stars, Chris Jericho. If you know, you know. He's on AEW now. WWF back in the day, WCW. He's just a legend in the wrestling industry. A small-time wrestling company accepts a well-paying gig in a backwoods town only to learn too late that the community is run by a mysterious cult leader with devious plans for their match. I did not have high expectations for this, okay? And I think that's where most people went wrong. I had very low expectations. I had a feeling it was going to be cheesy, ridiculous, but fun. It's absurd, and the literal death matches I thought were very creative. This movie is directed by Lowell Dean, who some of you might know from a little movie called Wolf Cop from 2014. I first watched this on Joe Bob's Drive-In, and oh my gosh, if you were into like 80s style cheesy horror films, I loved it. The cast was fine in this movie. I didn't think anyone stood out or was spectacular in any way. If you want a mindless film to put on while you're enjoying a beverage or pop some popcorn and you just want to veg out, I highly recommend Dark Match. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. The next 2 movies I watched are both on the Zombies blog, and that is Love Hurts and Heart Eyes. Both Valentine's Day films that I got to see in the theater, and surprisingly enough, both featuring a straw as a weapon. Next up, Humanist Vampire Seeking Consenting Suicidal Person. I got it. I heard a lot about this one through some of my horror peers who saw it at a film festival last year, and it was a big hit at TIFF. So I was very much looking forward to this. I am going to do this for the blog, so I'm not going to go too far into it, but I had a good time, and I recommend it to anyone that likes Let the Right One In, the original. Yeah, and there's plenty of blood, of course. The Gorge on Apple TV. Apple TV's biggest and most streamed movie weekend ever, thanks to The Gorge. Oh, this movie, you guys. Great premise. I adore Anya Taylor-Joy, directed by Scott Derrickson, who did Sinister and The Black Phone. Miles Teller and Anya Taylor-Joy star as 2 highly trained operatives who grow close from a distance after being sent to guard opposite sides of a mysterious gorge. When an evil below emerges, they must work together to survive what lies within. Sigourney Weaver's also in this, and she kind of reminded me of her character from Cabin in the Woods. If you know, you know. The main flaw in this for me was the dialogue. It is so unbelievably cheesy, an attempt to be a rom-com, that I cannot help but laugh. Maybe they meant for it to be a comedy. I don't know. I'm sorry, guys. It was just so cheesy for me. Any kind of romantic chemistry tension that was going on, totally broken because of this dialogue. I just couldn't take it. I do love this idea of 2 people on opposite sides of this mysterious mysterious gorge and these creatures that are in there. And I thought it was fun to see the way that the two connected the way that they did, kind of reminiscent of Dawn of the Dead, using their binoculars to write messages, play chess, yada yada. I thought the drumming was a little weird, but whatever. My favorite parts of the film were definitely inside the gorge, but I won't go too far into that because no spoilers. And I have this belief that that is where Scott Derrickson used most of his creative rights. I feel like Apple had a lot of say in what happened in this film, maybe to make it more palatable for a wider audience. And I think that was ultimately the downfall of the film. I've seen reviews on both sides. I've seen people love it. I've seen people hate it. You know, I was just kind of in the middle. I had a good time. My husband and I laughed. The acting was good. It had great potential. I thought that the creatures were super cool. Excellent. Great music by Trent Reznor and Ross. Nice cinematography. The script, the dialogue was just rough skis. Okay, you guys, 2.5 out of 5 from me. And not to mention, it was way too long. 127 minutes. What? If you enjoyed it, I'm glad. That's everything I watched in February as far as movies go. As the year goes on, we will have more movies to watch. It's only February. March seems very promising. There's a lot more releases coming. I'm excited. So please let me know in the comments what you loved in February. And until next time, stay spooky, my friends. Bye.